I can just smell the trail.
Hello, and in case you're wondering, this is the Playing Life Casual podcast. This is Paul speaking. It's good to be back, even though I got interrupted by this guy in front of me, but who cares about him? Right next to me, we got...
Francisco. Nice. What the fuck, Paul?
What?
This is great.
Okay.
And next to me, we have... Vlad. This is great. This is already great.
Hello, my name is Vlad. I've been on every other episode.
Yes, we have. We are the regulars.
Yeah, we're the regulars.
We're the hosts.
Yeah, this
now,
is it.
Yeah, you made me feel like I did something bad.
You did nothing bad, Paul.
I don't know.
Now, Paul, which wonderful guest do we have with us today?
Today we have, as you coined him, the man with the beard, Benjy. Right
Hello, I am Benjy.
Why do we call him man with the beard, Paul? We'll just look at him. Obviously, no one else can see it, but just look at him.
He's got a beard. I mean, he had a bigger beard, but like he's like...
He ate it. He got hungry.
Yeah, I got hungry. I had to just reabsorb. That's how you shave your beard.
You know, if you
across like your body though.
Yeah, like
Did you just getting?
I needed more hair like everywhere else, so I just kind of.
Is it true that if you eat your beard, you can just regrow it?
Yeah.
Like that? It's like
Overnight.
It's recycling.
Yeah. You eat your own hair, and then your hair grows faster. That's just science.
That's a true fact.
That's just science.
This
guys.
is the Gaslight episode.
I'm taking anatomy too, guys. I know what I'm talking about.
I took that class too. I remember that chapter.
Yeah. That was such a big chapter. It was so important.
Something that was a big chapter in all of our lives, Paul. What are we to discuss today?
We're here to talk about stories from elementary school and maybe middle school.
Yeah, maybe middle school. But definitely elementary school. Now, let's see. Me and Vlad went to the same elementary school.
I was going to say, like, we probably don't, it probably doesn't matter, because I assume everyone who's listening, most people listening here is American. Do we need to explain what middle school is to people?
I mean, I guess we can.
I don't know, our
I
Japanese
think
listeners.
I think we're good.
Oh.
I think we're good.
Everyone from Korea that listens. They don't
Yeah,
know
we
what
have,
this
like,
is.
all of Kendall's.
Yeah, I don't think Henry knows what middle school is.
Well, for people, I guess, who don't know what middle school is, Paul, explain it.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to explain. I mean,
It's
the US,
before high school, but after elementary
It's
school.
like a sandwich. It's like the meat
It's like
and
a thin,
potatoes.
that thin slice of McDonald's.
But it's not the good part of the
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah, perfect.
You're right. It's not the good part of the sandwich. Middle school is the worst of the three.
It's like the bread, and it's like the double down as you were talking about last episode.
It's like a
The
McChicken.
Oh,
see,
not
the bread
this
is good.
again. Not this again.
But
I mean,
the chicken.
You know,
part
if it is the
garbage.
McChicken, right?
No.
It could be the spicy McChicken.
See,
some of us have had spicy middle school lives.
Benjy's on my side. Kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
Let's get into it.
elementary school, middle school. Bam. All right. Let's go right into it.
Yeah.
So, me and Vlad went to the same elementary school.
Yes, we did.
Benjy, did you go to the same elementary school as Paul?
Yeah, and I think you
Well, I
were
went
also
to ours
in
for
when
the
you
lab.
transferred,
The
right?
second- Yeah,
In
like
middle
halfway
school.
through.
Yeah,
he,
in middle
he
school.
went to middle school.
Yeah.
So, Vlad went to middle school for me for about a year and a half, and then went to yours guys.
Yeah.
That's how I got to meet you two.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Didn't I meet him in high
worlds
school?
Connect.
Yeah, you met me in high school,
Yeah.
but like I was through Vlad.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was his birthday.
It should have happened sooner.
It should have happened sooner.
Oh, I would have loved for it to be sooner.
Did you have a beard when you were like 12 too?
Yes.
Did, yeah.
Did you really?
So, like, in middle school, right, like, my voice dropped when I was, like, 11, right? It just got deeper.
Mine hasn't dropped yet.
Dude, I'm sorry. And then, like, since that point, like, facial hair has just always been a thing. And it was just a part of my life. I never knew I wanted a beard until a couple of years ago, and that's, changed my life.
That's very sweet.
That is nice.
And unrelatable for me.
I'll use some magic on you for your birthday.
Thank you.
As that's in.
Now, anyways, so, Vlad, we went to the same elementary school.
We sure did.
What are some... Okay, that's how we met, actually.
Yeah.
We've known each other for almost 20 years. No. 18?
Something like that.
Long time.
17.
Long time.
Because I met you in what, like...
4th grade? Something like that?
3rd grade. I met you in 3rd grade.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very long time ago. Benjy, when did you meet Paul?
I met Paul sometime in middle school. I don't think we really became friends until high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew about you. I was like,
Yeah,
it's that guy.
We definitely like saw each other.
It's that guy who grew his beard out in the 5th grade.
Right, yeah, no, and I definitely remember actually. Me and Vlad weren't quite friends in middle school.
You hated
each
other.
But we would just. I feel like we would just pass each other, like share a joke or two, and we just keep walking.
Yeah,
on.
it was like we just kind of vibed every time we like saw each other, and that was
Yeah, we
that
would just
like,
vibe, and then like, all right,
It's like, all right, that
off to
goes
class.
bad,
Have a nice
there you
day.
go.
So
this guy's cool. All right.
what I wanted to talk about today, right, is I feel like everyone in this room, but also people listening, you have, whether it's elementary school or primary school or middle school, you have some stories that maybe stick out to you. Some things you just won't ever forget. I know the 4 of us definitely have some of those, and we're going to share them today. So I actually was thinking about this one a couple days ago, and it's not really a story per se, but it's more like, do you remember when the cicadas came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great, right? Like they're fucking everywhere.
Beat the shit out of them with
The
like
floor was
rackets and
so
shit.
crunchy.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, I hated the sound of it because like people like step on them and then make like that loud crunching noise.
Just like falling leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I found the blue one. They're like, no, you didn't. You didn't find the blue-eyed one.
I don't know why I thought about this, but like it always disgusts me when I remember this. Like in elementary school when that happened, we were like what, 2nd grade, 1st grade?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
early on elementary school.
Like 2002, 3 maybe?
Maybe 3.
Yeah, but like I remember kids would like they would pick up the cicadas and rip off their wings and then like eat them. And as like it was like
kind of scary.
it was like a joke or a challenge. I don't know. But
No, I think because we learned about cicadas right when we were in elementary school, and when they came out, and the teacher was like, "Yeah, people eat them in like other other countries." So kids were like, "Whoa, we can eat them!" And then they ran outside it during recess, and like, delicious.
But the thing is, people
And
would
then they like throw up and shit.
yeah, but they wouldn't stop. They'd go, "I want another one. I want another one."
Yeah, I cannot even begin to understand the mindset of people that just, as kids, we're just like, what happens if it's, let's pull all the wing off.
We're all guilty of that though. As kids, we all did like.
No.
No, you've never done
Okay,
it.
no.
Listen, I was not a.
No. I've not discussed things. I mean things that like you've done as a kid. Where now as an older person, you're just like, why did I do that?
So as a kid in this like park that I'm close to, when I was a really really small child, right, I'd pick up caterpillars, right, and I'd throw them in the
God.
in the lake. You want to know why? Because they like this weird like liquid would come out of them when they hit the water, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I kept throwing more of them.
Oh my God, dude.
Like an animal. It was fucked.
No,
At least you recognize that. Like if you're older now and you do that, you're like,
I still do that, dude. I still. No,
you're like, oh, it's really interesting to me.
Yeah, but when I was a kid,
in
right?
another 20 years, you'll be in prison for being a serial killer.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah, but no, when I was a kid, right, I was the type of guy that would try to, I'd see a worm on the ground just in the sunlight, and I'd be like, oh no, I gotta save that dude.
I'll do that too.
He ain't looking good. And just one of those times I saw something that changed me for life.
What? What'd you see?
Alright, I'm gonna go back to the scene. It's 1997.
We're babies.
I know. But what? I was like 4 or 5 or something, and I saw this little worm on the ground, and I was like, oh God, I gotta help that dude. It's Sonny. He looks like he's squirming around. He's struggling. He's not liking it. So I'm like, alright, I'm gonna save you. So I reached down to try to pick him up, put him in the grass, save his life, and then instead, he just jumps up, twirls up, lands, and then just starts like twisting in on himself and rips himself in half.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And I just
Wait,
stood
was this
up.
a regular worm?
Yeah, it was just an earthworm.
Oh, actually, he's fine. Oh,
He was getting really dry.
Oh, because
he was on the.
I know lame fucking biology fact. At least I'm pretty sure earthworms, even if you tear them in half, it just makes another one.
Yeah, no. I think that is a thing, but it was very sunny.
Yeah, he probably dried up.
Yeah, I mean...
At least you tried. You tried to be a hero.
Nowadays, like, when I see the earthworm, I'm like, oh, let me help him. And I'm like, I cover him, and I'm like, he's not moving. I'm like, buddy, you need to hurry this up, or else I don't have time for this. I'm trying to help you, man.
So, I don't know why, I just remember that cicada story. But I'm not innocent of doing things that I regret as a child. Like, I guess I'll finally talk about it. I've told this story to most people I know.
Mhm.
The spider story.
Oh yeah, the spider
Okay, go for
The
it.
spider story. When I was a little boy, when I was 10 months old, when I was walking 10 months old, speaking full sentences. Actually, I wasn't 10 months old. I was like, maybe like 6. Still like, little, right?
Yeah, it was
I remember-
Picture You that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. I remember, I was sitting in front of my apartment complex, and I was at the stairs. I was sitting down, enjoying myself, right? And a girl came up to me. And she's like, there's something really scary on this bush. It's like really scary and big. Come see it with me. I'm like, and because I'm a fucking sheep, I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I went, and it was a wolf spider. It's a big wolf spider. It's probably like right now. I wish I exaggerated it. Like, it's probably like this. It was probably like the size of my fist. It was it's still to this day the largest spider I've seen in my life. Like, to put this in perspective, wolf spiders are native to Maryland, and they are usually bigger than every other spider. They're huge and they are scary. They're extremely aggressive. Like, people that say, well, like, spiders are scared of you, well, that's true. But we're naturally scared of them for a reason, too. Anyhow, saw this wolf spider. It's on the bush. And, I took charge. I'm like, what is this thing? I have to do something. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. 6-year-old me is like, I can't comprehend this thing. It has 8 legs. It's hairy. It's disgusting. But what is this thing? So, Benjy, what do you think I did? What do you think I did?
Smacked it.
See, no, I did not do that. I didn't even poke it with a stick. You know what I did? What? I did the most disrespectful thing you can do. I spat on it. I spat on this wolf spider, and it was like, what the fuck? And it jumped on my chest. And I remember I looked down. It's looking at me with its 8 beady eyes, and I used my forearms to like quickly brush it off my arm. I was like, ah! Like, I brushed it off my chest, and I remember I ran past the girl. I ran to my apartment, back to my stairs. I sat down and I cried. So I handled it really well. And now I'm scared of spiders. That's the story.
A valuable lesson.
Yes, don't spit on spiders, kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all did stupid things as a little boy, little girl, little child. Well, Vlad, do you have any stupid things you've done as a little boy, little girl, little child?
Stupid things?
One of those
Stupid
things.
One of those things?
Or it's just me?
Nothing really stupid. I mean, elementary school was kind of rough, man. I
Yeah.
just remember it being rough. Everybody
Yeah.
bullied me because I couldn't speak English. And then I got put in ESOL where no one could speak English. So that didn't help me. So the way I learned English was I watched Jackie Chan Adventures on, like, WB or whatever.
Yeah, it was WB.
Yeah, WB. So that was fun. I also wore, like, really heavy winter clothes because I'm from Russia and people would make fun of me for that. And yeah, so my most, like, closest friends during that time were, let's see, Zach. And
We're saying all these names. People don't know these people.
this Asian kid, and his group of friends, which was like Elliot and
I
some
know
of them,
them.
Mariah, Frederick, yeah. So, and they weren't really my friends because all they would do is they would just chase me during recess.
And
The
beat you
entire time.
senseless.
No, they never caught me, but
Classic
they would
friendship.
always they would always chase me, and for some reason I was a villain and in their story, in their canon, I guess. But yeah, and then I was bullied by this other kid named Edgar who would always like pinch me and like cause me to bleed. And then I remember I told my mom and I had to like leave school early for like a month.
Aw.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's when I started watching like Code Lyoko. Like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, it was pretty rough.
Benjy, what was your elementary school life like? I hope better than that.
Yeah,
That was just
it
sad.
was.
wasn't
It
it?
definitely was better than that. Elementary school wasn't rough at all. I don't think. I wasn't friends with many people.
Vlad's looking at you like you lucky piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My life was better than yours.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. And it was more of that. Like I just didn't really talk to people. Like I had like 2 or 3 friends that all somehow ended up being friends with each other. And I kind of just kept to myself for the most part. But
I think we were all like
yeah,
that.
but also like Vlad, I was bullied a bit in elementary school, which got worse in middle school. And we can talk about.
But we'll talk about that once we reach middle school.
Yeah.
Paul, how was your elementary school general life like?
I mean, for the most part, it was pretty good. I would say that definitely better than Vlad's.
Oh, I got some sad stuff to share too. I don't have a good one either.
It's okay, Francisco. I'll add on to your side. I got a couple other shit.
But like Benjy, I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I had some that grew as time go on. But then I did have a couple rough patches because this one kid in elementary school decided to go up and tell my friends that I'm not friends with them, so they were like mad at me and mean to me for like a month, and I was just like really depressed about it.
Aww.
Do you want to know? You guys, no one on the podcast will know who I'm talking about, but Vlad, you'll know who did. Guess who did that? Guess who told them?
Harrison?
No.
I was like, Harrison wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, Brett did it.
Fuck Brett, man. Fucking
Fat Jew.
Yeah. Fucking, I hate Brett, dude. Brett is the most slimy motherfucker, dude.
He's so preppy too.
He is. Yeah, it's gross, man. It's
like
just
weird,
nasty.
fake high energy.
Yeah, really weird fake high energy. Like, and he try to get you to like shit that he likes. I'm like, dude, I'm not into fucking saxophones. I'm sorry. Like,
It's a saxophone.
Oh yeah, always bring it up in science class.
yeah, it's fucking bullshit. It's like I play a sax. It's like, cool, dude. I don't. Fuck. Like, leave me alone.
I don't care.
Can you not talk to me? Like,
Is he like a
ruining
vegan about
shit?
saxophones? He's like, saxophones are really good. They're the best instrument.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
man. He's always like the thing I remember the most in like this is high school. This is a quick one. Is just he would come up to me and he's like, "You guys want to listen to Mumbles?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to listen to fucking Mumbles." And he'll play like Mumbles, whatever the fuck Mumbles was. It was like some jazz thing. I'm like, dude, I don't fucking care. I'm trying to like scream at whoever the fuck I'm screaming at during fucking high school.
I think I remember like right after. I never heard the mumbles, but I just remember you guys always say, "What was the
Actually,
mumbles?"
yeah, I kept
And it
hearing
always
about
made
that
me
too, and
laugh.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Dude, I've never heard
Did
of the
I just
mumbles.
miss
I didn't even go to your high school when I
think
heard
those
about
even-
that.
I showed up like 5 minutes late to miss that from coming on the bus.
Fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
So, my elementary school life is actually similar to Vlad's in the aspect, actually very similar to Vlad's in the aspect that I was also put on ESOL, but
Yeah, we were both dumb.
yeah, we were both. Like, I was at ESOL from all the way from pre-K, from pre-K all the way to 4th grade. I got out in 5th grade, and it didn't help at all. I remember, and like my level of ESOL was like, I don't remember how it worked exactly, but like they would pull me out of class by myself, not even with another small group. I still remember this so well. By myself, they would take me to a random corner of the school, bring like a mobile chalkboard.
Just some abandoned room.
No, I'm serious. Sometimes I would go. I think I was one of the few kids that would go inside the staff room just because.
No, yeah, they
Which was
put
kinda-
me in like special ed class, like special ed period.
Wait, hold on. Just a quick timeout. This isn't a big deal, but Benji, when you called the Brett, a Jew, I just want to make it clear you're Jewish too.
Yeah.
right, that's a good point.
I am Jewish.
We're not. This is
You're
not
ethically
anti-Semitic.
Jewish.
I am
This is like the most
ethically
Jewish
Jewish as well.
motherfucker
Yeah,
ever.
Benji
Dude.
is.
Yeah, you're from Israel. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's,
to make
it's
it
not
clear.
it's not a slur. That's just how I remember him.
It's
I associate those two things. He was fat and he was a Jew, and those are the two things I remember about him. The strongest
All right, so now that we covered Paul's and Benji's
liability.
Yeah. Anyways, where was I? So yeah, they would stick me into like random corners of the school building, and just like leave me by myself. And I was just like, I don't think I'm super serious when I say this. I don't think I learned how to read until like the maybe 2nd grade. I'm so serious about that. It took me forever to learn, and like even then, like I had like speech problems where I couldn't do th, like the th sound. I couldn't do th. I couldn't do the ph sound of f, and I couldn't do. There was another one too, similar to that I also couldn't do. I think st, like st. I couldn't do that either. I don't know why. I was just incapable of doing it. I was stupid. But like, so they would take me out of class, and like I'd be by myself, so I wouldn't talk to anyone. So like naturally, like I was always used to be by myself. Like so, I just got used to that. And the only times really I interacted with other people were in recess. And like, I honestly don't know if I was bullied, but I was also chased around a lot. Like I was chased around a lot. but I was never hit or called names. But like I was never part of like a group. I kind of like migrated from like group to group. Like I would like even before like I was like good friends with Vlad. I would migrate to his group a bit, and I'd go like another one, go to like another one. I never had a place. This sounds really sad. But I would try to like talk to everyone, but like at the end of the day, it's just like I don't belong to a group. But I never cared about it. I never thought about it as a kid. It was just a natural like thing that I did. I will say though, one sad recess story I will never forget actually is one time. So like I don't remember what grade it was, but like it wasn't 5th grade. It was before that, right? Because we would have recess, and then after we were done, the older kids would have their recess, right? So we would have our recess, and I remember one day I was on the blacktop, and the teachers called recess, like, "Oh, recess, everyone has to go in." And I remember I tripped, and behind me there was like a herd of children, and I tripped,
no.
and they trampled me.
Stampede.
They stampeded. I remember this so well. They stampeded me. I'm like all cut up and shit, and I remember I curled up and cried. And then like one of the, I think it was a 5th grader. It was definitely one of the older kids. They came up to me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I couldn't respond. I'm busy crying. And then she takes me to the nurse. And that was it. That's my story. But I just always remember that. It was such a random act of kindness. But I was also stampeded by like two dozen children.
You were Simba.
Just
You know what I mean?
trampled by a bunch of
I remember that really well. That was really sad.
I thought it was gonna be like the kid was gonna like make fun of you. Or
I think that's
something.
partly why
I think that's
Yeah.
why I thought that was where that was
I
going.
was like,
too.
oh, that's gonna really be sad.
Wait, what?
The girl was gonna make fun of you.
What
Dude,
the
just
f-
like,
get up.
he fell on the ground.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that would suck. But yeah, going off the ESOL thing, yeah, I got put in ESOL and everybody in there spoke Spanish. I spoke Russian, so I didn't learn. Again, like the teachers spoke in Spanish, so I was like, I don't know what I don't speak Spanish, but they would sing like the Buenos Noches song like constantly. I was like, I don't fucking like what? This isn't English. Like fuck, like it was such a broken fucking program. I was like, why am I in here?
When
and they took me out.
When we were younger, it was like now they have like actually like languages for everything. Back then, it was just English and Spanish. And if you don't know either, what the hell can you do?
I also remember I made up like a letter because obviously like when I was first learning how to like write English, I made up a letter and I just put this letter like this letter could belong here and I was just like put in random fucking words and she was like one time the teacher came up and she was like, what is this? And I was like I don't know, and then I just started crying. Like it was just so dumb. It was like what but yeah, man, it eventually got better because then I, made friends with people. Yeah. But there was one story that I'll always remember, and I was in the bathroom during lunch, and I was taking pee at the urinal, right?
Of course.
I'm taking my
You're
pee.
peeing in the sink.
Yeah, I was peeing in the sink, and so I was peeing at the urinal, and I was like, something's weird. So I look up, and this kid.
Oh, this story.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Shit.
I remember his name. Wait. You were in the bathroom when that happened?
No, not that. It's not Travis. What the fuck? It was something with a T. Trayvon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trayvon was there, and he was like, he peeked over the stall, and he was looking at me pee. He was like, "Nice dick," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then
I thought you were talking
like,
about the other story.
What that?
Yeah. No one saw what like hand signal you did.
I know.
Figure out what it is by the
Yeah.
sound. Let us know.
Look it up.
What story is
I thought
that?
you were
It was
talking
that
about
the
the story
No.
where the guys were fighting about whales and they started choking each other?
No, that was something.
That's a different.
Yeah.
That's something I
That's
saw.
between Travis and
I want to
Frederick.
hear about that.
Oh, you want to hear about this?
Yeah, I wanna
This-
hear.
Again, short story. I remember I witnessed this.
It's like the dumbest
Even as a kid, I was like, what the hell is this? I thought it was so funny. So these two kids, right? They were arguing about which whale was bigger, the blue whale or the sperm whale. Right? It's like really stupid. And then it got like really physical. Like they were like yelling at each other. Like they were like, "No, the blue whale's bigger. No, you fucking idiot. The sperm whale's bigger." And it got to a point where like the taller kid of the two was choking the shorter kid. Like actually put his hands around him and started strangling him. And then the shorter kid just like broke out of it and they got into like an actual fight. Now the teachers broke it up like immediately, but he was strangled because he said that the sperm whale was bigger than the blue whale. Our school is full of maniacs.
Sounded like you guys had some pretty bad things going on around you when you were in elementary school.
It was funny.
Yeah, dude, it was hilarious.
Like,
that
the
really
worst
is
thing-
just the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. That just sums up that argument.
Like, the worst thing that happened to me.
Look, clearly
when
it's
I
the
was in
fucking
elementary
blue
school-
whale.
Yeah.
Also, who gives a shit?
Oh no. Blue whale's big, but the sperm whale's cooler.
Go ahead, Benji.
Alright, so the worst things that happened to me in middle school, I feel like the first one is pretty relatable. Everybody has had this experience in elementary school. You were the hero or you were the villain. So when we were in elementary school, Dragon Ball Z was pretty big.
I would say, yeah, Dragon Ball and Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were either Goku or you were Vegeta, and this is before we liked Vegeta. So you'd always have that one friend going like, okay, I'm Goku and you're Vegeta. And you're like, what if I want to be Goku? They're like, no, you're Vegeta. And then the second like worst thing that happened in elementary school was when I called a Jose a Josie because I didn't know about the
Oh, you don't know how the pronunciation works.
no. And then he's like, what are you, stupid? Just in front of the entire class.
Oh,
And I'm like, but how am I supposed to know that? No one has ever taught, like, why would I know that?
Yeah.
I'm like 7, man.
Oh, I think, sorry to kind of interrupt. I just remembered why I was pulled away, actually. It's because,
I know what this is.
no, I don't think you do. I don't talk about this often.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Dragon Ball Z drawing stuff.
Oh, yeah, I did do that. I'll mention that later. That is to my own fault. Because look, I was also not a good student. I wasn't in elementary school, not at all, not even remotely. But I had doesn't go away, but I had like ADHD, right? And back then, like teachers would go like, "Oh shit, I don't know what the fuck to do with you. I'm just gonna throw you away. I'm just gonna throw you out." So that's why they would throw me, because like no other kid, like other kids, I'm sure had it, or like. Even though it's not even like that big of a deal, if I'm being honest, it's not. But like they treat you like you're some sort of like freak, basically. Like I would be ousted and go like, oh, he's one of those. And so I remember when I was like in kindergarten. This is a real story. My dad told me this when I was in high school. Like I did not know about this until high school. My kindergarten teacher like called me. She actually called me retarded.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she said
That's
that.
fucking horrible.
And my dad, he got like super pissed, and it was like he told me, he was like, if she wasn't a woman, I would have hit her.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn,
like
dude.
so like I didn't have the best go of it in elementary school, but I still met this boy right here, right across from me, Vlad. I met him in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
First thing he told me was,
play Halo.
"You play Halo?" Like, no, what's that?
Let me show you.
And I went over to your house, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, that was a
You were
wonderful
like-
time.
What is this?
That's when I started getting like a concrete thing to fall back on in elementary school. Someone I could like, talk to every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
It was
is
a good time.
this is an elementary school thing, but when you mentioned like your teacher saying that, I know like this was in preschool, but apparently I was like a bad student. I don't remember anything.
What you do?
What?
I don't like. All I know is that like they constantly would send me to the principal because
What
because
did you
like
do?
we
Dude,
do like
he's a rebel.
I don't know because it was like we
You?
would do
In preschool?
I would not have imagined
What the
it.
fuck?
Yeah, I know.
He was such a troublemaker.
because like I was like I think because we were just playing and like when we moved on to a different thing, I'm like I don't want to do that. I just want to keep doing what I'm already doing, and I would just like argue like no, I don't want to change. So then they would just send me to the principal. I would just draw up there. Like, I don't remember anything. My parents would like tell me years. I'm like, yeah, Paul, that was so like they were off. Like, why didn't they couldn't teach you like what to do?
Benji, were you ever a troublemaker? Did you ever go to the principal's office?
Yeah. When I-
What?
Yeah. So I think 2 different circumstances. Once to the counselor's office and then once to the principal's office. But one was in middle school and one was in high school. So this I feel like is the most troublemaker part. I stabbed a kid in high
What?
school. Or no,
What? No.
no. I stabbed a kid in middle school.
Oh wait, I think I know the story.
Yeah.
No, hold up.
But you were stabbed.
I
in middle school.
I was stabbed in high school, but I stabbed a kid in middle school.
Now, you say stab with what?
a pencil.
Okay,
a lead
good.
pencil. Yeah, no, not a knife.
Benjy brought his giant machete and they can deal with this kid.
You know, you bring the metal dreidel to school, push him on the ground and drill it in.
Singing the dreidel song.
What was your reasoning for
Who
for
was
doing
this?
So in middle school, I was bullied. So on the bus, right? Or on
Sorry
my
to
school
ask
bus.
Benjy, but I'm curious.
Okay, so Jin, Alex.
There's a lot of Alexes.
All right.
Anyway,
Alex,
continue.
with Helen's group, and
Okay,
that.
yeah.
and then Ollie.
Brayden.
No, Big Lebiggy.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
And so we were all friends, like we were all friends in
Not
like
following the story.
Yeah, no. So we were all friends in like the last grade of elementary school, and at some point, like during middle school, they just decided that they didn't like me anymore. So in gym class, I just they would have us running around in the giant square in the gymnasium, and whenever I passed them, they would just start insulting me. They'd be like, fatty, you're ugly.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
one that just really confused me was they called me a Nazi, and again,
What?
I'm Jewish.
yeah.
I have a very Jewish last name, and they called me a Nazi. So that just really confused me.
That'd be a little upsetting.
Yeah. And when we were on the school bus, right? So our bus driver sucked. Everybody hated her. She hated the kids so much. She would sneeze on that bus. She would tell you to shut up. She would just whip her head around, tell you, shut up! So you weren't getting any help there. And they bullied me on the bus too, but on the bus it was more physical. So, I sat alone on the bus just because, it's more space, it's more comfortable. And then they would come over, and then with, hornets, the little paper and rubber band weapons, they would just kind of, pull it back, whack me.
I remember that.
They would, sit behind me, pull my hair.
Oh my god.
And I remember, one day, Alex was sitting behind me, pulling my hair over and over again, and it wasn't like I was getting angry, but I was just feeling more and more, done with it.
You were frustrated.
I was just I'm ready for you to not do this anymore. So he did it a couple of times, and then I don't know when I made this decision, but it just formed so fast. It was all right, the next time he tries, I'm going to stab him with my lead pencil. And he stands up, puts his hand over it. Before he grabs my head, I whip around and just stab him on the hand and then just go back to my seat. Just don't look at him. Don't care. I'm done with it. Now he's done with it. And then the next day, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to the counselor's office. And I'm like, yeah, so this kid, and this kid were bullying me. In gym, they'd be mean to me. And on the bus, they would hit me with stuff. And that's all the counselor heard. Because the kid that I stabbed didn't want to say I stabbed him.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
So
Yeah.
stand up for yourself, guys. It doesn't have to be violently.
I
But
think.
you always gotta
Just never
make
tell,
it known.
never tell the counselor the part where you were.
Yeah, no. Never tell them that you stabbed someone.
Well,
But
I was never called retarded in any of my classes. I was called Polish, though, which is basically the same thing. That pissed me off so much. It's they knew I'm Russian, right? But then they'd be like,
Yeah,
it was
y'all got
a
some
fucking
beef.
music teacher.
Oh, I remember
It was
her.
the fucking, she was like, oh, you dress like a Polish kid. You must be Polish. I'm like, no, I'm Russian. And she's like, you're Polish. And I'm like, what the fuck? Fuck you. That's like me going up to somebody and saying, oh, where are you from? Colombia? Oh, you're Mexican. Fuck you.
That is the same
That's
thing.
fucking bullshit, man. But so that happened. I got in trouble once, and it was because I was again, kids would chase me in elementary school, and one time Mariah was chasing me, right? And I was really tired. I was I can't run anymore. I'm fucking exhausted. She was running down a hill. I'm like, maybe she'll just stop, and I just put my hand out towards her, and I remember I closed my eyes, and she fucking ran into it with her neck.
Okay, so to kind of paint a picture of what Vlad just did, right? So like,
I just raised my hand.
you raised your hand and you pointed out your fingers.
Yeah,
You're doing
pointed
the
out my
Nazi
fingers.
salute right now.
Yeah,
sort of,
And,
but not
and not at that angle.
not at that
Yeah.
angle.
Just
Yeah, it was
straight
just straight.
arm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Straight arm, hand, like fingers out.
Yeah, and then because
And
that's what we learned. Like we
hand
learned this in like
pronate.
Taekwondo and shit. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna put my hand out like that.
Yeah.
And so she was running down a hill, so I guess she couldn't like stop in time. So it hit her neck and she fell over. And I was like, and then recess was like ended. I'm like, nope, fuck that shit, I'm out. And I left. And then in the next class, I got pulled aside by like one of the teachers, and she was like, I noticed a mark on Mariah's neck, and she was like, Vlad did it. I was like, first of all, I was pissed because like these assholes literally chased me every single fucking day for the past 4 years. Like, are you fucking kidding me? But then I was like, I mean, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I thought, like, obviously. So before the teacher even finished her sentence, I just started like crying, and then Mariah started crying, and then the teacher was like, she just kind of walked away. I was like, well, okay, that's great. Then we got water, and that was basically the end of that.
Yeah,
But
we got
like,
water.
still though. It's fucking, yeah, that was like the one time I got in trouble. In middle school, though, speaking of stabbing stories, so I got bullied again by this other kid named Ivan. He was this fat guy, and this was gym class. Dude, we were like, Lee was fucking...
The school we went to?
Yeah, dude, people
middle
would
school we
like
went to-
sharpen shit and like stab people.
Yeah,
It was
I
fucking
hated
wild.
it.
So, like, anyway, Ivan would like, again, like, he'd like cause me to bleed. He'd like pinch me and shit till I bled and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm so fucking fed up. And he tried to pants me during like gym class, and I was like, okay, I've kind of had enough. So what I did was what every other kid did, and this is a fun fact for you kids: if you put the eraser part of your pencil in the sharpener, it sharpens that
Yeah,
little
the metal part. Yeah.
So I did that, and I was like, you know what, fuck you, man. And he tried to pants me, and I turned out and I fucking stabbed him in the stomach. And he starts bleeding, obviously. He's like, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm out of here. And then he confronts me in the changing room. He's like, motherfucker, look at this. Look at this. He's like bleeding. I'm like, fuck you, man. I kicked him away. And then Mr. Haynes came in. He was like, what's going on in here?
When
And
you guys
Ivan
say-
never said anything.
When you
about
guys say
it.
stab,
Yeah,
like, you didn't, like, fucking puncture his,
Inch
like...
deep.
No, I mean, he was bleeding. I didn't like. It wasn't deep. It was just like
Yeah,
a
he's bleeding,
scratch,
but,
but
like,
still.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, you, like...
No, I didn't like.
You didn't
like, I
shiv
didn't
him.
shiv him. Yeah, I just kind of poked
Yeah.
him.
Nobody hears a murderer.
Yeah, no.
No.
But yeah, you stopped fucking with me after that.
I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I
they
don't-
always do.
I never was... I don't think I was... I was just, like, left alone. Like,
Most people left me alone. Everybody was just like, "Oh, that's the quiet kid. He has really soft hair." That was basically my entire identity.
soft hair.
You're like, look
Yeah,
at
because I
that.
used like my mom's shampoo. I don't know. It was weird.
Like, I was never really bullied or, like any, like, violent things, but, like, I bring up two things. The only time I was ever, like, in an altercation, well, I remember the first day of 7th grade, right? One of my friends stole another kid's binder as a joke in like, a gym class, and we're in, like, gym bleachers, right? I remember I was tying my shoe, and I'm really high up in the bleachers, too. And, they're, like, running around the bleachers. He's like, I have your binder, and the other kid's trying to chase him to get the binder, right? So, and then my friend, I don't want no part of this. It's just, I'm just doing my thing. Then he throws the binder, and it lands on my lap, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then the kid who's looking for his binder back, he sees it, and he tries to push me down the bleachers. And then, like, I like snapped. Like, I don't do this. I just snapped, and I got, like, really angry, and I swung at him. And it connected, and then, like, he fell down, but, like, he didn't fall down all the way to the bleachers. This was a Looney Tunes cartoon. But he, like, fell down, and then the teacher saw that, and was like, he yelled my name, he's like, Francisco! And I'm like, oh, shit. And I went to the office, and I had to write a paragraph of what I did, and why I did it, and why it was wrong. I wasn't being bullied. I didn't bully him. He just tried to push me out in the bleachers. I don't know why that's how I reacted. I never had anything before that or after that even similar. Like, I think I was just trying to defend myself. I was just like, what is going on? But yeah, I was never bullied. Like anything like that, especially physically. Like, that's never happened to me. Like, maybe it's because, like, I've always been taller than everyone.
That might be a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone was like, hey, just fucking leave him alone. He's tall as shit, man. But, yeah, I was never, like, because, like, something that was always weird, though, and it lasted all the way, honestly, to, like, maybe 10th grade, until, like, I started talking more. People just thought I was, like, mean. People just thought I was mean, so, like, I just ignore them. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I never really cared for it. Like, because I was just used to like like elementary school was my thing, and then towards the end of elementary school into middle school, I had a very small circle. That was my circle, and I was very happy with that circle. And then in high school, same thing. I had my circle, but I also had like I started to branch out a bit more. I feel more comfortable. But I would never have tons of friends either. But like I would always have like just a group of friends that that were really my friends. I felt like everyone else, like if I talked to you more than once, like it was either because I had to or you're nothing, or like it sounds rude, but everyone can admit to this. You're nothing more than an acquaintance. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't befriend everyone. You can't like everyone. That's not gonna happen. So like, I was always happy with like, all right, I don't have to have 100 friends. If I have like just 5, and I like them all, that's enough for me. But I was never bullied. Paul, did you have anything like that?
Well, I was gonna say, I guess I got like 2 like minor stories from high school. One was like, I was called to the principal's once in high school. It was really stupid.
You were?
Yeah, I was.
For what?
Because my Spanish teacher thought I was the wrong Paul, so she called my mom.
Oh, okay.
And then I had to like wait for like an hour out. She's going, I want to go home. This is stupid. And she comes in, the teacher's like, wait a minute, you're the wrong Paul.
Why did it take an hour for them to realize
Why didn't
that?
she like realize the last names don't?
Yeah,
have?
I know.
Like how is that hard?
Because
I think I know which Spanish teacher you're talking
yeah,
about.
I know.
But, yeah.
I have a very a white man's last name, is what I would say. And the other kid, he was not white. So it's just like what do you think? How do you call the wrong house?
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Is it at least the same letter? The first letter of your last names, both of them?
I have no idea. I didn't know anything.
It probably isn't.
I just assumed it was just my name's just Paul. So she called the wrong house. The other thing was that everyone in high school, besides like my friend group, thought I was like a drug dealer.
Oh,
they thought I was on
your
drugs.
sister thought that too.
Yeah, they all thought I was like a massive stoner or drug dealer.
My teachers thought that.
And I'm like,
Of you or
of me?
I'm like, I've never done drugs. I don't even know where you get the drugs. But I don't blame people for thinking, because I honestly did nothing to change it, because I would wear pretty much all black, like sweatpants, like a double layer of like my shirt, a jacket, then a coat, and I would just like wouldn't take it off. I would just sit there because I'm like, I just didn't usually like say anything in class. I was just like tired.
that is kind of stoner vibes.
I gave off like no like a sense of like emotion or like anything was going on. I was like,
Paul's a fucking anime protagonist.
He's just being cool.
I was just sitting around like I'm tired. I don't want to.
Shonen are for babies. I only watch Senin.
And like the president of like our school student body like told my sister, she's like, I sit behind your brother in science class. He is like a massive stoner. And she was like, do you do that? I'm like, no. Like, what?
Don't you remember?
I'm just sit there.
The one time we were like sitting in my car, I think we were like waiting for something.
Yeah.
And then your sister comes up and she's like, "Are you guys smoking?"
You guys hotboxing it.
Yeah, she thought we were hotboxing. We're like, "No." She's like, "Are you sure? Don't lie. I want some." We're like, "No."
Jesus.
We're not the ones with the problem.
I want some. Wow.
But yeah, to transition off being bullied,
Talk about the Dragon Ball Z cartoons.
I guess I can. I feel like I mentioned it before in an episode.
I don't think so.
I would like, I did it mostly in the 3rd grade. I hated my 3rd grade teacher. I did this mostly to spite her. Again, I wasn't a good student.
I just think it's really funny what you would do.
I would like, so like whenever like the class would like start a lesson, right? I wouldn't make a show of it. I would just be very what's the word, like what's the word where you just don't want to listen to authority? Rebellious,
Defiant,
like
yeah.
Defiant.
Yeah.
I'd just be extremely defiant.
Anarchist.
and like I would go, nah, I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't make a show of it, and I would get loud and stuff. But like I would just walk away, and like next to like the class was like where the computers were. So I would like go on the computers and like I would look at like pictures of like I remember really well. I would type in Goku SSJ2, and like, there's like a picture of like Super Saiyan 2 Goku or whatever, and I would like practice like drawing it, and like I would do that for all sorts of drawing. That's how I actually found like the concept of fan art. Because then I'll be like, whoa, someone drew a picture of this character, and it's on the internet. That's so cool. And I would try drawing it too, and I don't have any artistic ability whatsoever, so it wasn't good. But I had so much fun with it, and I would do that. I think I did that almost every day. I don't remember anything I learned in 3rd grade. I really don't. I remember 4th grade. I remember 5th grade. I even remember 2nd grade and 1st grade. 3rd grade, nothing. Because I liked all the other teachers to some extent. Some of them I had issues with. Obviously, one called me the fucking retard. That's not cool. But the 3rd grade, I just really hated. Also, one time, she made us eat her food.
Oh yeah, this teacher.
Yeah, it was like what? It was like I don't remember. It was like from some holiday, right? And she was like, "Oh, I brought all you guys food." And I remember that. Okay, that's the only time I made a show of it. Where I was like, "I don't like this. This is disgusting." And she was like, "No, it's really good." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Don't make me eat your food. No." It was like really. It was like her own. She like made like bread with something else. And it was just like stale. It had no flavor. It was horrible. I hated that teacher. I just hated her.
Sounds like you guys had some crazy teachers. I think one of the craziest things a teacher's ever done to me, or not to me, but they told me. So, in class, the biggest trouble that I caused was just not paying attention. Like, I liked reading. I could read at a high school level, at elementary school, not to brag or anything.
That's really nice.
Oh, wow.
I wish I had that.
I wish I could read in elementary.
Thank you. Freaking stupid over here.
But it wasn't because I was a super genius or anything. It was just that, like, fiction and fantasy and all those not real worlds were so much more appealing to me as a child than, like, the real world was.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of, like, why I learned to read. And this was before I had a computer or could watch anime or cartoons or any of that. So this was, like, my first taste of escapism.
Okay.
And my English teacher pulled me aside because instead of listening to her talk, she saw me reading a pretty thick book, and she pulls me aside, and she's like, "You're so smart, but sometimes I just want to strangle you." And, as a kid, it didn't really register as like, all right, the adult's talking to me again, I still don't care. But as I got older, it's like, why'd you say that to me? Like, what? You don't say that to a kid. You don't say that to people in general. And it's like, wow, elementary teachers and, like, preschool, kindergarten, they probably think they can get away with saying a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kids don't fucking know what the fuck.
Like, strangle, what does that mean?
Yeah, but it's like, they still can remember it later.
Yeah, like, we remember all these stories. It sticks to us. See, that's like what's really interesting about this. Like, all this stuff sticks to you.
Yeah.
Like, for good or for the better or worse, it does stick to you. At least I think so.
I agree.
Yeah. But to go on a lighter note, Paul, you might have mentioned this in an earlier episode, or maybe not. But this is also one of my favorite elementary school stories. And this is funny. This one's actually funny. It's not sad. No more cries. Everyone put your tissues away. It's not sad anymore. This one is funny. Maybe a little gross, but it's funny. In the 5th grade, right? One of my favorite movies of all time had came out. Ratatouille. Now, I love Ratatouille. It's my favorite Pixar movie. It's one of my favorite anime movies ever. I fucking love Ratatouille. It's a rat that cooks food. What's not to love, right? So, and the whole the school's like, all right, we're gonna have a for 5th graders, right? Because we're about to like have a graduation. Oh, we're gonna have like a viewing of Ratatouille in the cafeteria that everyone can watch. And it's like, oh my god, this is gonna be so great. And I remember I lost out on that. I lost out on that because I don't remember what I did, but I got like lunch detention, right? Oh, I'm trying to remember why I got lunch detention. Did you guys remember why I got lunch detention?
Something to do with like Jeremy, I think. I don't remember.
Okay, no, it is a story. No,
like you were like wrongly framed or
something. Okay, no, I have told this. I've told the first half. I didn't tell the back half of it. The first half, all right. I told this in the first episode of the podcast where the kid I saw next to, his name is Jeremy, right? I hated him. He hated me. It was a mutual understanding. He gets up. He pretends like I hit him, and he falls back on his back super convincingly. He made it loud. He made a show of it, he starts like fake crying. You know, props to him, he was a good actor. And the teacher was like, Francisco, did you hit him? Like, no, I didn't. But because like, I'm at a loss for words. I can't defend myself. I can't contest this
claim.
This claim.
This acting.
Yeah.
You weren't prepared for him to.
I wasn't. It was really convincing.
Like,
You
what?
didn't have your lawyer.
So I missed out on watching Ratatouille, right? But the punchline of all this, right, is that another friend of mine, also got lunch detention, and I don't remember what he did, but that doesn't matter. What matters is what we did during lunch detention. So we were left in the classroom. Everyone, teachers and the fifth graders, everyone went to watch Ratatouille in the cafeteria. So it was just me and him. And I remember I'm just sitting down. I'm just like, whatever, just trying to pass the time. I'm mostly angry. I think I was looking at the clock and going, oh my god, I want to watch Ratatouille. And he's like, Francisco, I want to show you something on the computer. Okay. So we go to the computer. Paul's having a grand fucking time right now.
It's just incredible.
We go to the computer, and to give you some context, everyone, back like I want to say pre-2008 maybe, like computers in public schools were not protected in the sense that like you could go on any website and they wouldn't be blocked. So that's the context, right? So we didn't go on some kid website. He was like, I gotta show you something. So I'm like, okay. So he goes up. He's like, you ever hear of Two Girls, One Cup?
Whoa.
And I'm like, no. And I remember I was eating Doritos. I was eating Doritos. I was eating food. I was eating Doritos during this because lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, check this out. and he puts on the video. I remember I'm eating. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, and obviously. For anyone who doesn't know, this video was very infamous in the mid-2000s for how vile it was. Like, and I'm eating Doritos, and my friend, he did, like, the way he said it was like, oh, it's a funny video. It's really funny. I thought it was going to be a funny video. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I want to laugh. It was not a funny video. Benji, it was not a funny video.
The funny part is traumatizing your friends. I've seen it too.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah, and
I only know about this because as much as I hate Family Guy, I know they made a joke about Family Guy.
of course they did.
Like,
That's all I know about the video.
So instead of Ratatouille, instead of watching beautiful Bremy cook meals, I saw Two Girls, One Cup with a friend who tricked me into watching it while I'm eating Doritos. That was not a good time. That's why to this day I blame Jeremy, right, for this, because if he had not acted that I had hit him with a 100% Oscar-winning performance, I would not have been subjected to watching such type of video. I would not. I would be sitting in a cafeteria, probably eating pizza or something, or I don't know, the circle pizzas that our schools had. I actually really liked those.
Personal pizzas.
Yeah, little personal pizzas. I don't know why I call them circle pizzas.
Yeah, I don't know, because you're a little dumb.
They were good.
I'm sorry.
They
but
were
like,
good, yeah.
I don't. All I know is from the YouTube comments. But did they really eat their own poo?
Yes.
Ugh.
And then they threw up on it.
Ugh.
So like when you
That
start
actually
looking
is
at it,
so
you're like,
ugh.
okay.
I don't want to talk about
I don't
it.
want to
Yeah,
talk about it
yeah.
either. I just like all I know is like.
But
ugh.
you think it's not going to be that bad, and then it's just,
And then it's bad.
and then you're not ready.
It's
for
nothing
how bad
more
it
than
gets.
just like it's like
It's like
it's
shock.
a shock. Yeah, it's a shock. It's just to freak you out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disgusting.
The fun comes from, like I said, traumatizing your friends.
Yeah, my friend had a great time. He was laughing the whole time. And he had convinced me. And my friend this friend has gaslighted me so many times. To his credit, he's really good at getting me. Maybe I'm a little gullible, maybe, but he's really good at getting me. He tricked me into that. And to fast forward, we're not gonna talk about high school, but this happened to me in high school. In the 9th grade, we I didn't know how to use like the public transportation, like I didn't, not by myself. So he was like, hey, let's go downtown. And I know the bus to take to go downtown. I'm like, I fully believe him. I was like, okay. And he literally saw the very first bus stop, and the bus came, and was like, it's this one. This is the bus we take. He said it with super confidence. So I'm like, it sounds like he knows where he's going. Benji, we did not end up where we had to go. We ended up in a different county. We went to a completely different county, and I remember even like halfway on that bus ride, I was like, I think we're going the wrong way. I'm pretty sure we're going the wrong way. And it was getting late. Like, we ended up at the wrong county. It was like 11 p.m. We're 9th graders. We have no money.
When did you leave? How long were you on that bus?
Oh, for hours.
Oh, man.
For hours. Like we passed University of Maryland.
Oh, my God.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, we did. We passed.
Why didn't you get off sooner? Like, wait, this isn't going down.
He kept saying,
he's
I
it's
know where we're
downtown,
going.
man.
He kept saying that. He was like, I know where we're going. Where we're going. And I believed him. I was like, okay.
Dude, downtown was like 50 stops ago, bro.
It's not even a go. It's the
It's the
other
wrong
way
direction.
around.
Yeah.
And then I remember, I had to call my dad. I was like, I don't know where I am. Can you come get us? And he got us. We dropped off my friend, and I got home, and then my dad beat me. And now it sounds really rough. He disciplined me
Did he spank you, or did he, like...
with a belt, Benjy.
With a belt.
With a belt.
Ooh.
Like
Homer Simpson choked him.
I mean, I've gotten the hand, but never the belt.
Oh no, and very common in a Hispanic household. Belts, shoes, anything really in hands, like anything you grab, like a.
If you
like
can hit a child with it, it's
if it's within your personal wingspan of grabbing, they will use it, right? So I've been hit by all sorts of things. Now it sounds rough, that's just how I was raised. I think I turned out great.
And you don't hate your dad.
I don't hate my dad. I love my dad. I love my parents.
You turned out fantastic.
Thank you. But the lesson I got from that is from that day I learned even now. I know every single bus route. I know where buses go. Like I know what the hell to do. Like so I kind of thank my friend for that. Bless me.
Gesundheit.
Sorry.
I forgive you.
I'm allergic to buses. I learned how to use the metro. So, in a sense, with every story, there's even with a bad one, there's some blessing in disguise.
I've also been lost.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was lost in the woods one time.
What the hell?
All right. So, in Olney Elementary, which is where I went, they have this thing in 5th grade, outdoor ed, where they
We got outdoor in 5th grade.
I got outdoor ed in 5th grade.
Oh, I had 6th grade.
Yeah, we had 6th grade.
Yeah, 6th grade.
I hated
for me
that.
too,
I got it in 5th grade. And
Oh, I got a story to tell about this. Go.
so what happened, right? So one of the things they did on outdoor ed was they had a scavenger hunt in the forest. So they're like, follow these markers, you'll be good. So, like you, Francisco, we had a very confident kid who was like, guys, I know how to use a compass. I can get us there. We'll get every single thing before all the other kids, and we'll be back before them. Guys, we'll win something. Don't worry. So we follow him for maybe 10 minutes. It's looking like we're off course. We passed the markers, I think, like 2 minutes ago. And we're like, are you sure we're going the right way? He was like, yeah, no, like the map and the compass, they go this way. And we're like, all right, because we have no fucking idea what he's talking about. We can't read a map. So we keep going in the same direction for like 10, 20 more minutes. And now we're so far away from camp. We're like deep in the wilderness. We're like, where are we? How did we get here? How did we get back? So one of the other kids is like, okay, I think I can hear a road. So we walk down to the road, and like there's no sidewalk. So we were like in the road, down a hill, with hills on both sides. So it's just road. We're just stuck in the road. So we're just walking along it until a car comes back, or drives down and stops, seeing just like a bunch of lost 5th graders just walking on the street. And he's like, what's going on? And we're like, hey man, like we're lost. We're trying to get back to camp, whatever. And he's like, okay, so it's that way. And we're like, all right, thanks. And we head back into the woods. And then the kid who got us out there in the first place is like, all right guys, I'll catch up with you. And we're like,
What?
Yeah, no, he had to take a shit.
Oh.
Ugh.
And we were like,
You couldn't just wait to get back to camp.
No,
You
no.
know, man,
We,
you
like-
should have just asked the guy to take you home. That's what I would have done.
I would not have done
Yeah,
that.
I would have.
there
I
also
mean-
was not room in that car.
Like, I always want to do, but I'd be like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be here.
So we're like, all right, like we were all thinking like, hey, thanks for telling us. You go do that, and then we keep going, and we head back, Sorry, guys.
I just edited this out. Doesn't matter.
Hi, Abba.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, say that again?
Sorry.
No, not yet. Okay, yeah.
There's that for it.
I'm with you guys in spirit. Alright. Bye, Abba. Why is my flashlight on? Stop.
Alright, so Benji, so
What was that?
you go into the woods, this kid wanders off by himself. Did you make it back?
Yeah, no, we made it back, and then they asked us, like, where were we, because the hunt was over, and we're like, I don't know, like, we got lost in the woods, this guy led us here, and they're like, where is he? And we're like, you know, he had to take a poop, we didn't care.
It's Maryland.
Keep going.
He's stuck in the Blair Witch.
Yeah,
Blair
and
Witch
then,
Mountain.
they were looking for him for a couple of hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing, they didn't find him,
He's dead?
but he just walked back.
Oh.
Like he just got back like into where we were eating food. He just walked by, skipped all the people. They're like, "Whoa, how did you get here? Where were you?" And then, I mean, that's the end of the
See,
story.
Benji, that's why you never trust the kid with the compass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they say they know where they're going, they're lying.
Yeah. Alright.
Our outdoor ed was eventful.
Now, before we continue, we've already reached an hour.
I know. That's fine.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
keep it going.
The
Alright.
long cast.
The long cast.
Oh.
Hour 30.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe hour 15, if we can.
We still haven't touched on high school. But yeah.
I don't want to do high school.
You sure?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That's a whole other beast.
We'll make it a sequel.
Yeah, that has to be his own episode.
Alright. I still have to go into my transfer though.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe an hour and a half, though. But definitely not high school.
Okay. That's fine. But yeah, our outdoor ed was eventful.
Yeah. Tell your end.
My end, I got placed with like the fucking useless kids who were all like really scrawny. So like we lost like every challenge we ever got. I remember that. I remember there was like as soon as we got into the cabin, I was in a cabin with like one of the really loud and obnoxious kids who would never fucking go to sleep.
That was mine.
Yeah, that was me too.
Yeah. And like, so we just didn't like. People would just burst out laughing. Everybody would like shut up. And everybody would be quiet for like 5 minutes, and somebody would like burst out laughing. Everybody else starts laughing again. And then there was like pillow fights. But this fucking one of these geniuses put a fucking phone in the pillow, and the other kid doesn't know, so he just picked up that pillow. He starts fucking hitting me with it, and his fucking phone is like smacking me against the fucking skull. I'm like, dude, chill. He's like, I'm like, chill, dude. There's a fucking phone in there. And he pulls out the phone. It's fucking broken. He's like, oh shit. He puts the pillow back in the pillow and just puts the pillow back.
Oh my god.
It's fucking. It was fucked, dude. I remember we had like a night trip to like the tiny graveyard thing.
I remember that. That was
Yeah.
lame.
It was lame. And then we lost like half the kids because the teacher was like, you know, it'd be really funny if I just ran off immediately right now to spook you. And a bunch of kids obviously got spooked, started running in like different directions. Like a bunch of morons.
I didn't follow them.
What, the kids?
Not like that group to go to the cemetery. I remember I went halfway and I was like, this is lame. And like a group of us diverged from that and we went back to the camp and we just like sat around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, besides that, I don't really remember anything else. There was a sexual assault. I remember that. Do you remember
Let's
that?
not talk about that one.
Okay. There was that.
On an upbeat note, do you guys remember Kill Hill?
No.
No.
Or maybe I guess we went to different outdoor ed camps because ours had like.
I don't even remember the name of ours.
Yeah, I remember.
So they had like a super steep hill. That
Yeah, I
they just
remember that.
made us climb to get a
yeah.
scenic view of the camp.
We climbed, but
We
like
climbed, but it wasn't that. It was like rope things.
It was just like this
I don't
gross,
remember.
muddy, like.
Yeah, no,
climb
it
that
was
I went
super-
out. It was like raining when I went. Like, this sucks. Why am I
It
here?
hailed when we
I was
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was just so slippery. You just try to climb up,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd fall back, and it was super steep for a bunch of kids. I feel like.
I'm gonna like make my outdoor stories quick because technically mine was quick because it was, I don't want to say short-lived because I was there the whole time, but I got sick in the middle of it. But I didn't want to go home either. But like yeah,
You
like
didn't?
no, I didn't want to go home
I would have wanted to go home.
because there's nothing to do at home anyways. Like I didn't want to go home.
Even then, I wouldn't care. I would just sit, like, I'd rather just. I hated outdoors so much. I don't want to be here.
I mean, I didn't like it particularly, but I was just like, what is this, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember, like, Vlad, were you in the quiet cabin or the loud cabin? You were in the.
I was in the loud.
You were in the loud cabin.
Yeah.
I was also in a loud cabin, but the difference between yours and mine is that mine was full of the degenerates.
What are you talking about? I had degenerates too. I had fucking Nick in mine.
I
Donovan.
I had the one that our cabin got in trouble because someone brought a telescope to spy on the girl cabin.
Dude, we got the same shit.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, we had that one too.
Someone brought binoculars. We're gonna check this out. Then fucking Mr. Haynes would come in. Hey, fucking yeah, scream at us. But yeah.
But yeah, like our cabin, we had like there were like I mean, it was fun. Like there was like wrestling matches and like people would like yell at each other. It was fun, but like I got sick. Like I got like a cold, so like I did all my challenges like sick, and like I remember my group won one of them. We didn't do well in the others, but I remember I was like physically I was miserable. And I remember I told a friend. This is the same friend who I can say his name. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, Ibrahim. So I tell him I was like, I'm gonna take a nap because I don't want to do the rest of the challenge because I feel sick. So just wake me up when like the food is like here, like the nighttime food thing, right? It was like he's like, okay, yeah. He didn't wake me up. I slept past like half of it, and I remember I was in my PJs, and I went with the cold, so I sickeningly walked in my PJs to like the cafeteria thing, and it was like the last day of the ride, so like there's like half of it was like a dance and like food thing. And I remember I walked in the middle of the dance floor. Everyone's like dancing. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck am I? Like, and I'm like, oh, and then like all the food's gone. I'm like, god damn it. There's like chocolate milk left, so I took like the bottle of chocolate milk. I remember I sat down, crisscross applesauce, and drank a bottle of chocolate milk in the middle of the dance floor like a fucking weirdo. And I remember I was like, oh, this is like I don't want to be here. So I got up, I left, and then like all like the Vlad, you might have been there. It was like the other room where it was like board games.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember I went in there and I was like I couldn't comprehend what was going on. I was like, I think they're playing. I still remember what happened, but yeah, like that was my experience. I got sick, and then like I don't remember half of it. That was it.
Nice.
So, okay, going off of kind of like how you were in Esau in elementary school, in middle school, I was in what they called study hall.
I was in that too, actually.
Yeah.
What? I don't remember this.
So,
Well, Paul, because you weren't
You weren't a little, you know,
yeah.
you were a little,
little cuckoo.
You weren't missing a little light bulb in your head.
yeah. So, in mine, right, at least in my study hall period, it was specifically me, who I thought was kind of normal, and then, like, the vaguely gangster children.
Oh no.
Can I say something?
Oh
You know,
no.
Fabio.
Can I say something? Because like my school, right, would like clown the hell out of like schools in your area for acting like that.
I know. I wish he did come up and do that. I hated those people.
Like
The fake gangster people.
because
yeah.
like you guys were, I'm not gonna say like super nice, but like significantly nicer than where I went to high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Like and then like there were the kids from your school that are acting like this, and then people from my school be like,
You know-
what are they doing?
Yeah, no, kids from our school were just like, they wanted to be tough. Like, they wanted to be hot shit.
The fake tough guys.
Yeah, no one was really tough in our high
no
school.
one
I can't
was.
think of anybody.
So, I
There was
remember...
like people that like, you were like, I don't want to mess
Like,
with.
I had criminals go to my school.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean by don't mess with him is like, you know, he might bring the gun to school. So
Yeah, that's
we
basically
had that, but we didn't have like any like I would consider to be truly tough people.
Yes.
I remember one of the vaguely gangster children in that class. So the teacher pretty much kind of just left us alone, went into her little office, and just trusted that we were studying, and that when we were done, we could just go on the computer. So I didn't want to, so I just didn't, and I just went to the computer.
Oh, like me.
Yeah, I just started reading manga. And
manga.
forgive me. So I just did that, and then also like just listen to fucking, what was it, Shark Tunes or whatever back then?
What?
No, Groove Shark. Groove Shark.
What is that?
What is
Yeah,
this?
so Groove Shark was like a super, like, it's not around anymore, but it was like a music streaming software.
I used LimeWire to get my music.
Oh, but it was like a radio type thing. Like, you just type it in.
Oh, no.
Story after
No,
this.
It was like
I torrented things from a young age.
it was like an old Spotify,
Okay.
essentially.
Okay.
So one of the children, when the teacher came out, she was like, if Benjy didn't study, he's just on the computer. She's like, Benjy, is this true? And I'm like, no, they're lying. And the teacher's like, okay. and it was just like, I said that, it just came out of my mouth, and I was like, man, I'm trying not to smile here. Because I know I'm just lying, it's just bullshit. And she's like, yeah, okay, that checks out. I trust Benjy. I'm like, yes.
Nice.
Okay, but yeah, this is a quick one. Like this is just elementary school kids, like 5th grade. They were just some degenerates. They're like, this is just really stupid. But I remember I was like in my class, like, we were doing like computer groups, and like I had like my roommate, no, not my roommate, my computer mate who I was working with was like, hey Paul, look at this. And he just types in penis on Google Images and he just shows it to me. Ugh. I remember like fall on the floor. I was like,
Wait.
I don't want to see that.
Wait, Paul, do you remember the Jeremy story? You don't remember that shit? That was in elementary school.
I don't remember the story at all, but I do remember him telling me that. But yeah, this wasn't Jeremy. But yeah, I just remember like, it was like a really like gross like hairy penis. I was like, I don't want to see that.
Oh, god damn it!
I was like, why is this up?
Paul, I just remember like when I was hanging out with Jeremy, he would tell me like, hey, I remember Paul, and I was like, he was in my elementary school. He really liked animals, so you know what I did?
Sorry.
I typed in like bestiality, and I showed him.
No,
I don't. This was something you would do. But
That's
my
disgusting.
brain is, like,
It's disgusting.
but I have like blocked it out. I don't remember a thing about it.
Oh
But
my
I can,
god, that's
all I
fucking.
remember about Jeremy was I was really impressed at how good he was at Super Mario Sunshine. This is the main thing I remember when I went to his house. And then we played Battlefront 2. I don't remember him showing me that.
It's no funny shit.
It's pretty funny.
That is kind of funny though. That's
It's
disgusting.
like, oh, you like animals? Look at this. It was foul, disgusting shit.
I remember someone was like, hey, you want to see some goats? And I was like, I love goats. Cute little animals. And they're like, alright, goatsy.
Okay, yeah, let's move on from this.
Anyway.
I have one more.
Okay,
I
go
guess
for it,
the
go for
most degenerate. Well, this wasn't. I mean, I was in middle school, but this wasn't at school. I just remember like I like playing strategy games. I was like, oh, this is fun. I would go on like the forums to read, and occasionally like the forums would get like I guess like hacked. And, like some guy from like Serbia, or it's always from the Balkans, would just post like porn on there. I'm like, what? What is this? I was like, ugh.
I'm just trying to understand the meta.
Yeah, I was like, like I was just like, this is nasty. I was like, that was always like my experience with like porn. I was like the extent of it. I was just see this like goober from the Balkans would just troll the site. I was like, what? Stop.
That was pretty funny though.
It is pretty funny. I was always like, no.
But anyway, in 7th grade, I ended up transferring to a different middle school. And,
from mine to theirs.
Yeah, from their cesspool to this other cesspool.
We're high class.
You guys were high class. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, I went from all these, like, poor-ass pieces of shit from my other middle school to all these rich-ass, like...
Yeah, our water fountains was brown.
Our water
Like,
fountains
the water was brown. And I drank from that.
Like, we didn't have, like... Here's the other thing. Like, we didn't have, like, social, like, classes in Lee.
We did.
Yeah.
You guys did, like, heavy shit.
I
Like,
know.
lunch was, like... It was completely, like, segregated.
Yeah.
Wait,
amongst,
so you'd
like,
say in our middle
social
school we
classes.
didn't have social...
Not as bad as theirs. Like, we
Yeah, I
had
think-
cool kids, but it wasn't, like...
Yeah, it wasn't as, I guess...
We had, like, 3 groups. We had cool kids, the regular kids, and then the fucking nobodies.
Yeah.
That was it.
There were the people that were just in the cafeteria, the people in the hall,
Yeah.
the people outside, and they were all very different people.
Yeah. So it was like...
So
it
the
was
middle school
insane.
you went to is like, it's much more highlighted?
Yeah, it's way more high. There's like
Yes.
millions of different groups of like
I know.
preps, and then there's like the like
Isn't that-
normal kids.
Isn't that
and then-
interesting that like that
like,
dynamic
nerds.
changed from school to school?
Yeah. Plus, like the nerd groups were like also different. Like there was like so here's how it went. Right in the cafeteria, there's like basically 3 rows. There's the preps that sat on the far left. There's the middle, which is like regular kids. And then there was the far right, which was like all nerds.
Uh-huh.
Well, nerds including like theater nerds, like geeks, like
IT nerds.
yeah, all those people.
Oh.
And they weren't like they weren't like a big group, but they like all knew like each other and they mingled. Like somebody would go from like one table to the other.
I hadn't had that.
It was insane, man. And when I first fucking transferred, like I was like, holy shit! Like everybody was nice to me. I was like, whoa, this is fucking weird. And they like showed me around. I would sit at like the prep table, but I wouldn't fucking talk. I was like, I don't fucking know what to say here. So I was like popular for like a week, and then it like devolved.
You were new.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And then I kind of like started sitting by myself for a while, and then I was like, I'm gonna move to this table. And yeah, but like I got to meet like everybody. Like everybody in the school kind of knew who I was the first like week, which was interesting.
You were infamous.
Yeah, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Russian kid.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I don't remember when I met you. Like, I don't remember hearing anything about you. I just met you in the hall, and I was just like, eh.
I remember we sat like kind of close to you at lunch. I remember that too.
I remember you went into my science class, and I remember like a week later, some guy was like, "Oh yeah, the Russian kid, yeah, he's pretty cool." Yeah, but then the guy was just like, "Oh yeah, but he's a copy."
Vlad.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
was
that
another
made
thing.
me laugh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Vlad opened up the door and he was like, "What's up, you fucking capitalist?
No, dude, it was fucking wild.
What's up,
man.
you nerds?"
It was wild. Like even like during like we had that stupid run thing where we had to run around the gym for like 15 minutes or whatever. Yeah, we had that. And like people would like look at me and go like, "Hey, it's the Russian kid." Or like they'll like wave at me. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like I'm some kind of like zoo animal.
You're special, Vlad.
I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I was flattered. Like don't get me wrong, but I'm also like really fucking autistic, so I wouldn't like say anything. I'd be like, and I just remember me and like Andrew like I would just be friends with like the weirdo kids at the beginning. I mean, Andrew was cool. Like I liked Andrew, but like during gym, we would just like talk about Linkin Park or something. It's just in the corner. Yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting, but it was a very warm welcome, so that was nice. But yeah, and then I met Paul.
Yeah.
I started sitting at their table.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, hi."
Yeah, I was
And
like,
we
whoa, that's cool. Yeah, that's when I met you, Paul.
Yeah, then 8th grade, we had the homeroom.
Yeah, we had the homeroom class with the weirdo Connor.
And then we
Who
had
never talked to us, even though we were like the easiest
Was he
people
like
to talk
the
to.
very thin blonde one?
No.
No,
He
this was
wasn't
a dark
blonde. This was
the other one was there.
Yeah, the other Connor was there too, but like we had two Connors.
Yeah,
there
then we had
too.
James Boudreaux.
Don't
We'll cut that out,
Paul,
James.
you fucking.
But yeah. So that kid never. I just know you like I would like ask him like, hey man, like what do you think of this? He would never respond. He just has his head down and he's just picking his nose the entire time. I'm like, okay, dude, well, you're not doing yourself any favors here.
You know, we can talk, and then like
Yeah, like it's fine, dude. Like
we don't care.
Yeah, I don't care what you say.
James did just make. All he would do is make a bunch of Jew jokes.
That is true. James did do a bunch
Yeah.
of that.
I was like, okay,
Oh, you know what I fucking remembered just now?
what?
The fucking Charles thing. In Miss
Oh.
fucking Sheldon's class.
I know, but I've met.
That was the highlight of 7th grade. I'm pretty sure that was 7th grade. So I was in what was that fucking algebra? I don't fucking remember.
I don't know. I mean, I
It was
wasn't there.
Yeah, I know you weren't there, but it was like some math class,
Ugh.
and Miss Sheldon was like, she was this very proud, busty lady. Is how I would describe her.
We were in middle school, right?
Yeah, it was middle school.
Oh,
I think you know him.
Yeah. She's just a super very okay.
Yeah, the big
super
cut.
very low cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Charles was in, and Charles, bless his heart, man. He was probably like this. He was probably really nice, but he was very quiet.
Yeah, I never
And he sat like pretty close to me. Like we weren't at the same table, but he was like one table away. And Miss Sheldon was like asking like questions about like, oh, can you solve this math problem? And we just hear this loud like this little like just like that.
What is that? What?
Just a little that. And I look over and Miss Sheldon looks over and there's this brown like this brown little like pool and she went like, Charles, did you shit yourself? And I was like, holy shit. And Charles obviously was like, oh no. And she was like, go to the bathroom. And he was like, oh yeah. He got up. He doesn't say anything because Charles like didn't talk, and he just walked out and run to the bathroom.
He waddled out after making that disgusting.
Yes. And I was just like,
I feel bad for
like
him.
everybody was like dying of laughing, but I felt so bad. I was like,
my
oh
God.
man.
That's awful.
Yeah, I was like, oh, poor fucking Charles, man.
Man, that's
Yeah, it was probably really nice, but that was just too fucking
unfortunately,
funny.
that just
That's
destroys.
just
That just destroys you in school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I remember one time in summer school, I also had him, and it was also with Miss Sheldon, because I think he had to like retake that.
Same teacher.
Same teacher, yeah. And I remember the last day of fucking summer school, he fucking bolted out of that class. Like, he legit ran. He was a pretty heavy kid, but he like bolted out of there, and he dropped like all of his DS games, and he never came back to fucking. I think someone picked them up too. I think it was like Carlos or something. Some kid was like, "Hey, I got free games with Charles." And then, you know, he obviously never gave him back, and I never saw that kid again after that summer school.
I remember cheating on one of her math tests.
Dude, I didn't learn a single thing in that class.
Dude, yeah. So.
But yeah, that was wild.
All right. So, what are your takeaways from like your early school life? You'd say.
That as soon as I transferred, everybody became beautiful for some reason. I don't know why. I just remember that. I was like, whoa,
Just
holy
everybody
shit.
glowed up.
Everybody, no, like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I transferred, right, I was
Wait,
just kind of like...
do you mean from their school or my school?
When I transferred from your school to their school, everybody in their school
Their
was,
school.
like, fucking
We did
beautiful.
have some pretty...
We had a lot of beautiful people.
Yeah.
Men and women. I was
We had
just kind of like, whoa.
We had a generally attractive
Yeah, I was
middle
like,
school.
whoo! Yeah, dude, little, like, horny little Vlad was fucking
You're
whacking
like,
off so much, man. It was crazy. That's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, but yeah, I don't really have a takeaway. Don't be a piece of shit. And I think that's a good summary. What about you?
I mean,
What's your takeaway?
people might say that like, oh, like elementary school, middle school don't really matter. I think it does matter actually.
I think it builds character.
No, like it does build character.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like honestly, this is why like while there's nothing wrong with private school, I don't think that's real life. Real
No.
life is public school. You're not getting these things in private school, or maybe if you are, you're just hearing about them.
Yeah.
Like I think it's more of a sheltered life. None of this is sheltered. There's so much other stuff that I haven't mentioned that is just either disgusting, horrific, or like or
So
just
many
shocking,
things.
and so many things happen, and it's just you learn how to deal with it. You learn how to talk to people. At least I think so. Even if you despise talking to people, even if you just completely drop every single ability to like communicate properly, like you're horrible at communicating. You at least know you're aware that you can't communicate. That by its own is communication, because then you're like, you're like, oh man, I'm not good at talking. Some people aren't able to recognize that and then still talk and then not be good at it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just the ability to recognize that and really recognize that person's different, that person's different, that person's different, and that person may do something good or bad, right? You just learn how to deal with all that. It's also why I think everyone should work in like a service industry at least one time in their life, whether it's a retail or restaurant, because you just learn how to deal with shit. Like public school, like elementary school, middle school, you learn how to deal with shit. Obviously in high school you do too, but it's different. It's definitely different.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. That like people need to work in like service industries.
Yeah, you like
for like at least a year or
It
something.
gives them
just-
like a much different perspective. Like nobody's
Yeah.
gonna treat you nicely because you're a kid. Like if you're in retail, they're like, no, you're here to make me happy.
Yeah, it's fucked, man. But yeah.
But yeah, like
totally
I feel it builds character. You at least learn what a social dynamic or what an idea of what proper communication would look like. Like as a kid, like what you said, like your kids, like your teacher told you, I want to strangle you. As a kid, yeah, you didn't know what that meant, but you can look back on that and say, why was I told that?
Mhm.
Right?
It's
Why
pretty
was I told
sus.
that? You learned, yeah, it's pretty sus. You learned from that. So, yeah, you take, despite it being good or bad, the stories, there's always a takeaway from it, is what I truly believe. Paul, what say you?
Well, I think a lot of what you said was the truth. You definitely get a learning experience, especially in public school. You learn not to be. You learn how to be a little less stupid. Is sort of what I would take.
Just a little.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all I remember. There was some dumb stuff that I did. It wasn't even like not even like dumb. Like this is like bad or like I'm gonna get hurt. It's just like stupid. Like if you think about it. Like for some reason, whenever we won kickball, you would put your shirt on backwards. I just I'm like, why would you do that? It was just like, okay, that about sums up. I remember then the teacher yelled at me for it. They put your shirt back. No, I won. I got the game-winning kick. But yeah, definitely public school is an adventure. You get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think if you just wanted purely education, just pure education, then yeah, go to private school. But I don't think it's real life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my take. Don't have a lot, but that's about what I got.
There's nothing wrong with private school though. I'm not saying that. It's not real life.
So Benjo, what do you want to say?
So for me, I think like you guys, you definitely learn a lot. You learn how to be a human, I guess, because it's like, you know, if you're just say you're homeschooled, right? Like you still know how to interact with people, but you interact with them on that level that you would with your parent or your other family, and if then you just randomly transition, maybe that'll be different. Maybe you won't know how to deal with it. Maybe you'll adapt. But I think, at least I feel that you learn more like socially or how the world works more than you do necessarily academically, because like every day in math class it'll be like you're gonna learn that the isosceles triangle will be so important in your life. And you're like,
no, it's not.
What?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, exactly. No one does. And what sticks with you more is just like how to act in other environments.
Yeah, and you're in your childhood life, and I think again, working in a service industry is how you do that in your adult life.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
I think you learn that people really, really suck. Like they're degenerate. Like people are flawed
mean
creatures.
People are mean.
Yeah.
People are rude, extremely rude, and people are extremely stupid.
Yeah, I think you learn all of that pretty early on.
Yeah.
But every so often you get a person and you go, "You're all right.
You're pretty good.
You're all right.
You know
You're pretty good.
You're not so bad.
Yeah.
I'm okay with you.
You know what else isn't so bad, Paul?
What?
Actually, it is kind of bad. Very sad. We're ending this episode.
No. Does that mean I have to go back to hell?
Yes.
No.
But
condemn him to all eternity.
However, Benji,
Yes.
thank you for joining us today.
It was my
It was
pleasure.
a very, very pleasant talk. There were some sad things, there were some funny things, right? But a good talk nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My name is Francisco. I have Paul right next to me. I have Vlad, and I have Benji.
I'm going back to hell now. Goodbye.
And this has been Playing Life Casual. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Fuck!